Hey guys, Dal Houston here today. I'm going to talk today about the dichotomy between what we as humans and man do, and I don't mean that in a sexist way, but man do, in trying to solve their problems, and how we often pick the absolute opposite path in life, or treatment in life, depending on how you want to talk about it, to solve our problems. Now, let me start by first saying, you may be asking yourself, what the hell is this guy doing, talking to us in pink shorts with a blue blazer and a pocket square on? And I'll tell you, I picked this outfit for a very reason, and I'll talk to you about it closer to the end of this. I hope you'll stick with me and follow as we go through this story, because I think it really can be beneficial to a lot of people. But I'm not going to talk about it till the end. So here's the deal. It's February. We've got 7 inches of snow outside, and I think we're going to post some pictures of me feeding cattle yesterday in the snow, so you'll know that it's cold. And I specifically picked this outfit for a reason, because I do work it into my talk. But we are in the cold and flu season, and last week I had a cold, and it seems for this year about the 10th time, probably over exaggerating that, but it just seems like I've been getting sick, and I get better, I get sick. We've got kids in school, they bring something home, so we've just been for the last month and a half a home of illness. But last week I was sick, and my wife asked me, she said, do you want some ibuprofen? Well, I already knew this theory, and I started to say yes, but then I stopped myself, because the theory is this, and if you're a medical person, don't rake me over the coals on this. Don't criticize me too much, because I'm just talking in general terms. I'm not, and really it's really irrelevant, so much of the medical stuff. But here's the deal, that when you've got a cold or an illness, you've got an infection. And your body heals that infection. It fights that infection off by raising its fever and raising its temperature. That, in turn, makes you feel bad. It gives you a headache, makes you feel groggy, and everything else. So my wife asked me, do you want some ibuprofen? And I kind of looked at her and I said, well, isn't it true that I've got a fever, and that's fighting off the bug, whatever I have, short of going to the doctor at least. And if I take ibuprofen, what it's going to do is lower my fever, hence make my head feel better. And she said, yeah, that's true. And I said, but in turn, that makes my illness hang on longer. She said, well, I guess I hadn't thought about it that way. And so we talked about it, and finally said, no, I think I'll just put up with it. And the next day I felt better. Now, I will say this, I'm still battling a cough, and I've got a package of cough drops here in my pocket, so if I cough during the thing, you'll understand why. Now, let me change gears a minute on you. Most of my life, I'm 50-some years old now, and most of my life I've lived in fear. I was small, I was an introvert, I was shy, I was incredibly shy. I feared what people would think of me. I feared, do they think I'm smart enough? Am I good looking enough? Am I stupid looking? My country accent? All kinds of stuff. And so my reaction to that was to avoid those things that put me in fear. So I would avoid groups. I would avoid speaking in public. I would avoid asking girls on a date, because I feared rejection. I feared, would I be humiliated? Would I be embarrassed? A few years ago, I woke up one morning, and it didn't quite happen that fast, but ultimately I woke up one morning, and I thought to myself, I don't want to live like this any longer. Now, I can't make myself any more outgoing necessarily. I can't make myself any more magnetic personality. I can't change that. But I can change how I feel about fear. And one of the things I did was start to do a lot of professional speaking as an attorney to other attorneys regarding legal subjects. I do tax things, and I specialize in a special area, and I would speak to attorneys in Oklahoma and Kansas. I do webinars. I would travel to Washington, D.C. and St. Louis. And man, it was amazing once I got to doing it how my confidence changed, my fear changed. And I realized that at that point in time, it was the things that I needed to make me feel better were the things that I was running from. That it was like, gosh, instead of avoiding those things, I needed to do them. Now, let me tell the rest of the story, and let me tie it in to why I am dressed this way. And one of the hardest things, at least that I, in my journey to change, have come into. About the same time I started doing my public speaking on legal subjects, we also, as our family, started traveling. We would go to Florida on vacation. We went to Washington, D.C., to Chicago, to Los Angeles, a lot of different places. And when I was wanting to shake off the farm dust, shake off the professionality and formality of the office, I would kind of dress like this. And I would get compliments. Hey, you look good. I even had, not to brag, but I had a lot of college girls say, man, you're rocking it. And I was like, wow, I'm 50-some years old and I'm told I'm rocking it. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But at the same time, I would have people look at me like I freaking come from Mars. And they'd look at me and go, you could tell they were going, what the hell is this guy? Gray hair, this. I have never seen anyone wear that, let alone some gray-haired guy. But I did it, and the more I did it, it was just like public speaking. The more confident I got in who I was and what I was doing. Except this. I'm from a small town in northwest Oklahoma. There's great people here, don't get me wrong, but it's a rural town. And when I was in my hometown, I wouldn't dress like this, because I knew I would be looked down upon. People would look at me and go, what's Dal doing? What the hell is up with him? Has he lost it? Has he had a stroke? Has he, losing it? And he's going to end up in the nursing home? And then one day, my son had a high school or a middle school presentation. And my wife and I went, and it was a Friday. I wasn't going to the office, and I decided, I'm going to wear this very outfit that I have on today. And we went to it. And nothing bad happened. Nobody made fun of me. In fact, one of my son's friends came out and said, hey, Mr. Houston, you look good today. And I said, well, thank you. But then it got worse, because we decided we would go to lunch. So we went to lunch, and we went to the little diner that we go to a lot of times on Friday. And there in the diner was a lot of my farming friends, people who I'd known my whole life, who knew my parents, my grandparents, and everything else. And a lot of them came up to me and looked at me, and some shook their head. Some said things like, real men don't wear pink. Real men don't wear shorts. And then one lady came up, who I've known my whole life, and said, Dal, I know you're not gay, but you might want to wear something else. And I'll be honest. That old fear rose up inside of me. And as we left, I thought, I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to do that again. I'm never going to put myself in harm's way again. But as a couple days wore on, I said, you know what? I ran from fear before, and it didn't do me any good. In fact, it took me further away from fear, or from curing my fear. I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it again. I don't give a damn what anyone says about me. I don't. And so I did it. And yes, I got comments. Some of them honestly hurt. Some of them pissed me off. But I continued to do it. And my confidence kept rising and rising and rising. Ultimately, this ties back in with the ibuprofen, because it would have been easy, it would have been really easy to take the easy route and say, you know what, I don't need someone to make fun of me. I don't need just someone to criticize me. All I got to do is wear my jeans and my boots, and that goes away. But that would be giving into the fear. That would be giving into the weakness. Just like taking the ibuprofen would take away the headache. It would take away the fever, but it wouldn't cure the problem. It would just mask it. We treat, so many times, we treat the symptom, we don't treat the cause. So if you want to change your life, make your life better, focus on what the cause of the problem is, not the symptom. Hey guys, I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later.